The Beverly Wilshire Hotel glittered with opulence. That evening, its grand ballroom transformed into a spectacle of elegance and sophistication. Sparkling chandeliers cast a warm golden glow over the well-dressed attendees as the annual charity gala unfolded in full swing. It was a night of glamour philanthropy and high-profile personalities, a gathering of the nation's elite, including politicians, business magnates, celebrities, and media icons. Guests sipped champagne, exchanged pleasantries, and mingled against the soft strains of a live orchestra that played in the corner. Conversations buzzed across the room, blending seamlessly with the music, creating an atmosphere of energy and exclusivity. Among the crowd was Hunter Biden, a familiar figure at events like this, clad in a sleek black tuxedo. Hunter exuded his trademark charm and confidence wherever he moved. Eyes followed, some amused, some skeptical, but all aware of his reputation for commanding attention. His animated conversations and sharp tongue had earned him a reputation as someone who knew how to work a room on the other side of the ballroom. Stood Barron Trump, the youngest member of the Trump family. At just 18 years old, Barron had grown into an imposing figure, his height and cowed demeanor setting him apart. Dressed in a perfectly tailored navy suit, he carried himself with quiet composure. Unlike Hunter, Barron avoided the spotlight, politely engaging with those who approached him, but otherwise remaining on the periphery. The evening progressed smoothly, with silent auctions, heartfelt speeches, and captivating musical performances. The atmosphere was lively yet refined until the MC introduced an impromptu segment, a tradition at the gala where guests could step forward to share jokes or anecdotes. This light-hearted portion of the evening was meant to break the ice, but in a room full of powerful and influential personalities, it was always a gamble. The crowd buzzed with a mix of anticipation and trepidation as the MC invited volunteers to the stage. Hunter Biden was the first to step up. With his signature smirk, he strode confidently to the stage, the spotlight following him. Scattered cheers and polite applause greeted him as he took the microphone. "Good evening, everyone." Hunter began, his tone playful and self-assured. He started with a few harmless jokes about the extravagance of the event and the absurdities of high society. The audience chuckled politely, but as he continued, his tone took on a sharper edge. "You know," Hunter said, his voice laced with mischief, "it's not every day you get to share a room with such towering legacies." He paused, his eyes scanning the room before landing on a specific figure. Take young Barron Trump over there, for instance. Heads turned, and all eyes fell on Barron, who stood quietly near a table at the back of the room. His expression remained calm, unreadable, as Hunter continued, tall, handsome-born, into one of the most famous families in the world. Hunter said with a faint smirk, "But I've always wondered, what's it like to grow up with a name bigger than your personality?" The room fell silent. The polite, after that had greeted Hunter's earlier jokes, evaporated, replaced by a palpable tension. Guests exchanged uneasy glances, unsure of whether to laugh or cringe. Barron, however, didn't flinch. He stood rooted in place, his composure unwavering. Despite the pointed jab, the silence in the room was deafening, the air heavy with anticipation, sensing the discomfort. Hunter tried to laugh it off. "Come on, folks, it's all in good fun," he said, raising his glass in mock cheer. But the crowd wasn't laughing, and then Barron moved. With deliberate strides, he began making his way toward the stage. The crowd instinctively parted for him, creating a path through the sea of guests. His tall frame and measured steps exuded an air of unshakable confidence. Conversations hushed, and the room seemed to hold its collective breath. As Barron reached the stage, he paused for a moment, his towering figure silhouetted against the lights. His calm demeanor and composed expression were almost unnerving. In their steadiness, he extended his hand, and Hunter, perhaps more flustered than he let on, handed over the microphone, taking the mic. Barron turned to the audience. His voice, steady and deep, carried effortlessly across the room. First of all, he began, "Thank you, Mr. Biden, for your kind words." His subtle sarcasm drew a few soft chuckles. "It's funny you mention legacies and personalities, because I believe a legacy isn't about a name, it's about how you treat others, how you carry yourself, and whether you can look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, 'I did something good.'" The audience was riveted. The weight of his words hung in the air, profound and precise. Barron turned to Hunter, his tone calm but firm. "If there's one thing my parents taught me, it's that action speak louder than words maybe. Instead of making jokes at someone else's expense, we should focus on lifting people up." A ripple of applause broke out, hesitant at first, then building into a resounding ovation. Barron stood tall, his presence commanding respect. The audience's admiration was palpable, their allegiance clearly shifting. Handing the microphone back to Hunter with a slight nod, Barron stepped off the stage. He returned to his table. As the room erupted in applause, the energy completely transformed. Guests exchanged looks of astonishment, whispering animatedly about what had just transpired. The rest of the evening continued, but the atmosphere had irrevocably changed. Barron's poised response became the highlight of the night, overshadowing even the most extravagant aspects of the gala. By the next morning, news outlets were buzzing with coverage of Barron's speech. Social media exploded with praise, and hashtags like #BarronTrump and #leadership trended worldwide, his words resonating with wisdom and maturity. Beyond his years became a rallying cry for grace, respect, and true leadership. Barron, however, remained humble when approached by a journalist. Weeks later, he simply shrugged. "I didn't say anything special," he said, "I just spoke." What I believe his response wasn't just a moment of composure, it was a lesson for everyone in the room and beyond.